Hey friends, let's talk about something we all face but rarely admit out loud: the fear of judgment. Whether it's the way you dress, the choices you make, or the dreams you're chasing, the fear of what others might think can be paralyzing. It can stop you from being your true self, from speaking your mind, or even from trying something new. But here's the truth: living in fear of judgment is like living in a cage you've built yourself. The good news? You hold the key to let yourself out. In today's video, we're going to explore why we fear judgment, how it impacts our lives, and, most importantly, how to let go of that fear so you can live authentically, unapologetically, and freely. So, take a deep breath, settle in, and let's dive in. 1. Why do we fear judgment? Let's start with a question. Why are we so afraid of judgment? At its core, the fear of judgment stems from a basic human need: to belong. Back when our ancestors lived in tribes, survival depended on being accepted by the group. Judgment could mean rejection, and rejection could mean danger. Fast forward to today, and that same instinct still exists. We're wired to seek approval and avoid disapproval. But here's the thing: we're not living in tribes anymore. Being judged doesn't threaten our survival, yet it can feel just as scary. The fear of judgment is often rooted in stories we tell ourselves. If they judge me, it means I'm not good enough. If they disapprove, it means I've failed. But what if I told you those stories aren't true? What if judgment doesn't define your worth? 2. The cost of living in fear. Here's something I want you to think about. What has the fear of judgment cost you? For me, it cost years of hiding my true self. I was so afraid of being criticized that I played small, stayed quiet when I wanted to speak, blended in when I wanted to stand out, and said yes when I desperately wanted to say no. The fear of judgment can keep you from pursuing your passions, building meaningful relationships, expressing your opinions, living the life you truly want. And the saddest part? Most of the time, the people we're afraid of being judged by aren't even paying attention. They're too caught up in their own lives, their own fears, their own insecurities. So here's a truth that's hard to swallow, but freeing once you embrace it. People will judge you no matter what you do. Whether you play it safe or take big risks, someone will always have an opinion. The question is, are you going to live for them or for yourself? How to let go of the fear of judgment. Letting go of the fear of judgment isn't about pretending it doesn't exist. It's about learning to move through it. Here are some steps that have helped me. 1. Reframe judgment as reflection. When someone judges you, it's often more about them than it is about you. Their opinions are shaped by their own experiences, insecurities, and beliefs. Instead of internalizing their judgment, ask yourself, what does this say about them, not me? 2. Focus on your own approval. Ask yourself, am I proud of the person I'm becoming? Because at the end of the day, the only judgment that truly matters is your own. When you prioritize self-approval over external validation, you reclaim your power. 3. Build emotional resilience. The fear of judgment often feels overwhelming because we associate it with rejection or failure. But rejection doesn't have to be the end. It can be a beginning. Start small. Share an idea in a meeting or post something personal online. Each time you face the fear and survive, you'll grow stronger. 4. Surround yourself with supportive people. Find people who uplift and accept you as you are. When you're surrounded by those who believe in you, the voices of judgment fade into the background. A new perspective on judgment. Here's a perspective shift that helped me immensely. Judgment isn't the enemy. Fear is. Think about it. Judgment will always exist. It's part of being human. What holds us back isn't the judgment itself, but our fear of it. Imagine for a moment that you didn't care what others thought. What would you do differently? What risks would you take? What dreams would you chase? When you let go of the fear of judgment, you don't just free yourself, you inspire others to do the same. 5. My story of facing judgment. Let me share a personal story. A few years ago, I started a project I was deeply passionate about. I was so excited to share it, but as soon as I did, the criticism started rolling in. Some people loved it, but others judged it harshly. At first, their words stung. I started questioning myself, wondering if I should give up. But then I realized something. Their judgment didn't change the fact that I believed in what I was doing. So I kept going. And guess what? The same people who judged me eventually moved on, while I stayed true to myself and my vision. The lesson? Judgment is temporary, but the regret of not being true to yourself lasts forever. 6. Living authentically. Here's what happens when you let go of the fear of judgment. You start living authentically. You make decisions based on your values, not someone else's expectations. You show up as your true self, flaws and all. And here's the best part. When you live authentically, you attract the right people and opportunities into your life, the ones that align with who you truly are. So, my friend, here's what I want you to take away from this. You don't have to live for the approval of others. You are allowed to be you, unapologetically. The next time you feel the fear of judgment creeping in, remind yourself of this. Their opinions are not your truth. Your worth is not up for debate. And your life is too precious to live on someone else's terms. If this message resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how you're working to let go of judgment. I'd love to hear your story. Thank you for being here today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can keep having these honest, heart-centered conversations. Until next time, take care of yourself and live freely.